All right, so no, that title is not clickbait. It is 100% true. So this video is really just going to be dedicated to what happened, how it happened, and kind of where we go from here. Where I go, where the channel might go, and just sort of my thoughts onto the whole situation. It pretty much explains almost exactly, why I haven't uploaded a video in almost exactly 2 weeks. And the reason is just because I've been dealing with the accident and everything that kind of comes along with it, as well as, the emotional stuff. So I should just start off by saying that I'm fine. No one else was affected by this, and no one else was hit. No other cars were hit, nothing like that. So I'm gonna just sort of start from the top here. As I mentioned, this is gonna sort of describe in detail what happened and how I think it happened. And I'll go through sort of kind of the current status of what's going on, because I wanted to wait to tell you guys. And actually initially my first reaction was honestly to hide it, because I was embarrassed and I've never been in this situation before, at least of this caliber. And I just felt embarrassed and just so emotionally just harmed by it. I mean, I'm mentally fine and all that stuff, so don't worry about that. But my initial reaction was sort of to figure out a way to sort of put a spin on it, but that's not the right thing to do. And everyone I've talked to, everyone has been super supportive from A to B, the whole situation. So that's a positive. So anyways, what happened is I decided to take the BMW to work on a Monday. And it was supposed to be pretty dry, and it was, except for I think in the afternoon it sort of was, light precipitation or something like that, but it was right around 30 degrees, I think. But it was a fairly dry day, and as I mentioned to you guys a million times, I like to drive it, on at least, a couple times a week during the winter time, just to keep it, all the fluids, good, and just to keep it more of like and instead of storage, it sort of, is driven frequently enough that it's not a big deal. So anyways, I was driving home from work. It was like close to 6 probably. And I was going around a turn, and I'll show you in a second. But I was going around a turn, and it was at a light that has a green arrow. I was turning right, and it was one that sort of is around a bend. All right, so this is the road that I was driving on. I was going this way, and I was going around this turn. And as you can see, it's sort of like it's painted here because you can sort of go around this turn a little bit quicker than if it was like maybe just a normal right-hand turn. So it allows you to have more speed than you normally would. And no, I was not power sliding or anything like that, but I was going around this turn, and I believe that there was some, I don't know, ice or something, but as soon as I accelerated more, I lost control of the rear, swung out, and I nailed a light post, like a street light over here. And I was only going like 20 probably at the most, so I wasn't even going fast. So I nailed that light post, and I was, like I said, I was going probably 20. It was like a split second. There was no fighting, there was no swaying, there was nothing. It was just like turn, boom, and then it was like I woke up or something. It was that quick. And it's just crazy. I can't believe that like it's over with and done. So I nailed the light post. No one else was hurt, no one else was affected. The only thing that was affected was the front of the car, and the light post was actually removed from the ground when I hit it. It wasn't like the biggest light post ever, but it was, I don't know, tall enough, at least 10 feet tall, and it was secured well enough that it sort of destroyed enough of the front of my car, and it actually fell onto the roof. I'm going to be, putting in footage as I describe this. When I went back to the place that the car was kept to get a couple miles off of it. But you can see the roof, the light post hit it, so that was the structural integrity of that was pretty much compromised at that point, as well as the whole front of the car. But as you can see from the footage, it was like, from the fender's back looked pretty much normal, almost exactly normal, but there was some minor frame damage, and the roof was damaged, and the whole front, of course the radiator and all that stuff, the bumper was totally in like 7 pieces probably, and rear glass was shattered, I guess just from the flex of the roof, the rear glass shattered, and I was fine. I mean, almost all the airbags went off. I remember the steering wheel airbag, the driver's side, all those, the curtain airbags went off, and I didn't even realize that the passenger, I didn't have a passenger, but the passenger curtain airbag went off too when I went to go grab my insurance stuff out of the glove box, which I could do, like the glove box wasn't smashed in or anything. So that's that. So that's what happened. I stayed there. It took, 2.5 hours or so in that area to sort of get the tow truck, the cop, talking to the cop, who was actually super cool. He was actually kind of a car guy too, and his wife had like a Z4, so he like could understand like how it happened. He didn't doubt that I was like racing, and I wasn't racing or anything like that. It was sort of just sort of a freak thing. And there was definitely some ice present. I'm usually pretty skeptical about people. Oh, I hit a patch of ice, but I hit something, whether it was ice or just enough slickness on the ground, and just swung the car out, and I just couldn't control it. It wasn't that. That's it. That's the whole story. So it is totaled. The damages exceeded the value of the car. The adjuster, who's actually pretty cool as well. I was communicating with him a lot as far as the value and what they're doing, and they actually gave me some value for the mods and even like the tinting and stuff, which I would have never expected. So make sure if you're in that situation to sort of ask about, he gave me $50 for tinting, and I spent like $120 on it because I had the doors and then the windshield done. So that's pretty good. I would have expected $0. I didn't think that would add value, but it did. We went back and forth on a bunch of other stuff, and it is total. He pretty much said he stopped writing the estimate as soon as the value was at like 20 grand or 18 grand. He's like, once it hits, that's pretty much the value of the car, around 22 or so. I mean, there's just a waste of time, right? Even if you were to like cut that in half, it's still extensive enough to like, oh, the labor that he's estimating is wrong, or it's way too much than it really is in this area. But like, there wasn't really a choice there. It was, that is what it is. I wasn't fighting to have the car alive if it was done for. So it is done for, it's gone. I said my last goodbye a couple days ago, and I got the mods off of it from the insurance auction yard. I assume they just auction it off, so they let me get my intake and a bunch of other things, my license plates, whatever. And they did take my carbon fiber license plate frame. I don't know what the hell's up with that. Glad it was only like $30 and not like 200. So that kind of pissed me off, because I want that for my next car, but whatever, I'll have to find another one. So that's that. It's totaled. I still owed like about $5 grand on the car, so the value of the car that they gave me, they're just going to subtract my deductible and then the outstanding loan, and then I'm going to get a check for the difference, and that's it. So I'm just going to be waiting kind of on that check, and then I am at a point mentally that initially I wasn't ready to say bye, and I still am not, but it is what it is, and it gives me an opportunity to get something else, right? So it is what it is. I'm getting something else, hopefully in the next couple of months, and I'm leaning towards an E92 M3 actually, depending on if I can find a decent mileage one, and for a price that I can afford, because they have come down a lot in price, but obviously I'm still pretty price conscious. So I'm going to make sure that plays out well, and if there's updates on that, I will definitely let you guys know. But man, I'm really going to miss this car. It was something that it was a lot of firsts for me. Saving up, working hard. It's proof. The biggest thing is that it's proof to me that hard work does pay off. I saved so much money and spent so many hours, honestly probably hundreds, figuring out what car I wanted, and I ended up on that, and I have no regrets. It wasn't an M3, it wasn't some exotic, but for that point in my life a couple years ago when I got it, it was the best and perfectly spec'd car that I could imagine, which is why I actually had it shipped from Texas. From the dealer. Yeah, I spent an extra $500 to get it at the time, because it was the one, and it really was the one. So it was my first manual, it was my first BMW, it was my first coupe, it was my first rear-wheel drive car, it was my first car that I bought with my own money completely. I mean, I had a loan on it, but like everything, insurance, upkeep, everything on it was me. I was in charge of that and I took care of it. You know, I don't know, it's just, it sucks when you're not ready for it, but you know, it is what it is. And hopefully, you know, I feel like, you know, you guys deserve to know. And as far as the channel goes, I'm definitely still here. I'm super busy with work and a bunch of other stuff, and of course the winter time, and then that situation makes it harder to make videos that I think are good enough to watch. A lot more of them are probably be more vlog style, maybe in the car or something, but obviously the BMW videos are pretty going to be slow to very minimal now, just because it'll only be footage that I already have, or maybe if I go see a buddy or something, or maybe test drive some cars. You know, we'll see what happens. That's it. I'm going to start my car search. I'll try to kind of clue you guys in. I do actually like updates and stuff a lot on Instagram, so like if you're actually curious as to what's going on, or if I think that something is relevant to post but I don't have a video or whatever, I'll be on Instagram. I'll do a story, or I'll do like a post about something I'm doing. So if you are interested, and at this point in the video I don't even know how long this video is. It's probably at least 10 minutes. It's much longer than I wanted it to be. You're probably interested in something like that, so I wanted to let you guys know about that if you didn't already. So I thank you guys so much for watching and supporting, and everyone in every community that I spoke to, including, you know, my friends and family and everyone that's close to me. Everyone, I don't know what I expected, but I just didn't know what to I didn't have an expectation. I just happened, and then everyone was just super supportive. It could have been worse, you know, it really could have been worse. I could be only damaging enough to fix it for $7 grand or some weird situation, then a car will never be the same. So in a way, I am happy that it's over with. You know, there's no debating it, there's nothing, it's done. I truly will miss that car. It gave me a lot of opportunity. It, you know, introduced me to a bunch of my friends that I have now. You know, cars bring a lot of people together, and you have, even if it's not the same car, but you just share the same sort of passion. Even detailing, you know, you have a nice thing and you keep it nice. So it's just, you know, I don't have kids, I don't have pets, I don't have anything. I have my cars, and I have that car, and I have the Jeep too, but you know, you guys know that that's not really my baby. It's not really my passion. The Jeep is cool, and I'll keep it clean up, do the right thing. But that's my big announcement. Obviously not clickbait. It's real. It's happening. It's done. And so let's, you know, start the new year. Get a sweet car. Who knows what's going to happen? I am open to ideas, but like I said, thinking about the 92 M3, depending on what's out there. Thank you guys so much for watching. I appreciate the support, but thanks again for watching, guys. And I will be in better spirits, more excited, outside doing stuff. I promise. There will be a new car around, and you guys will be able to see every step, because this wasn't documented of this car. You guys just saw it and it was there. I'm getting a car, and you guys will be along for the ride. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.
Race car day.
With your smile, now the sunshine brings the light. Fill me out.